Have you taken
Yeah.
anything yet or no?
No.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I saw that gold opportunity in the way that I mentioned it yesterday, which
Mm,
was it was the only way my brain saw it,
sure.
after the fact.
Yeah,
But
we'll
yeah, I'm
get
about
it.
to clear out my charts. I'm like just looking at things. GJ kind of felt like a mess yesterday,
Yep,
so I just stayed out of it.
absolutely.
um, I'm like looking at it again now, just because I hadn't reviewed my charts again after the morning. I did not see any opportunities.
So this is what I was looking at yesterday.
Mhm.
So this is a trade I would have lowered my risk for, but I would have probably taken where we critted our high up here from that spike from Russia and Ukraine and that whole tension
On
rising. We
Friday.
we created this high up here, and then buyers cashed out. Sellers took over a little bit. We started to retrace a little bit, but it was
Mhm.
just to form a higher low, and it was also like the beginning of the week, right? So like at the end of the week last week, we started to sell off a little bit, right? Come down, create another higher low. Not going to correct this full move over here because everything is still up in the air when it comes to the tension between the two countries. So we were
Mhm.
holding support over here, and yesterday during London, we just ranged a lot, right? Just ranging, but also holding this support over here, which is super important. Then we started coming down here, grabbing liquidity, printing some strong bullish candles over here, looking like we were finally coming up to retest our high up here, right?
Mhm.
So once you get this retest of this high right here, right, price comes down and holds support at these previous candle body highs, right? We actually rejected this area, but we also rejected the resistance with this huge wick, right? The only
Mhm.
thing is this wick, the body was strong. The body closed above the open of this candle over here, right? The only thing is it closed below this level. So what you could do is you could place your stop loss below here. You're also below, or you're also above all three EMAs over here. So
Mhm.
as long as you place your stop loss right down here, if price starts like ranging in here or starting to break the lows or anything like that, you obviously manage risk. But a lot of times I've seen this wick get filled, especially with the fundamentals on the back end. So also we have a high volume time. Wow. Gold just got TP just hit. Awesome. Um, so right over here, you want to be cautious about this. I'm not telling you to take this trade. I just want you to look at this for a little bit, right? See if you see this multiple times. But again, this should give you confidence that we could be continuing up as long as you place your stop loss down here. You could even have like a wider stop loss, like below this 10 EMA over here,
Mhm.
anticipating price to fill that wick, and then you have some room to manage the risk.
Right.
Makes sense? So we ended up filling that wick right there, right? After this candle, what you could do is not only take it after this candle closed, but wait for this bottom wick to form. And then as it starts to flip bullish, maybe passing the resistance, then you could take this. Because that would have been 31 pips right there for you. Right. Anticipating that volume around 945.
Right. Well, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. I
Yeah.
was looking at it from the 30-minute view, I guess.
The 30 minute. Yes, you were. I think that's the screenshot you sent. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's not as clear on the 30 minute. Again, we rejected on the 30 minute right over here. But the next 30 minute never passed the low of the previous, flip bullish, and continue to take off, especially after these moves right here.
Right. Interesting. Hmm.
Liquidity grab, strong bullish candle close. Candle creates a bottom wick, passes the high right over here. Right? It closes a very strong bullish candle. Get a weak rejection of this area, but a rejection nonetheless on the 30 minute. So then you go down to the 15, and then you see a candle like this close.
Mhm.
Makes sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And then we had like a little retest, but not too much. We just had that bullish momentum pushing up. So now let's since everyone wants to sleep in, we can break down everything on our own. And then you can, you'll have more confidence to ask questions and stuff like that and point things out now that it's just us right now.
Sure.
So that should help.
I'm gonna clear out my charts now.
Beautiful. Awesome. You're making that a habit now?
Yeah, trying my best to, and then I'm like also trying to just not I don't know, get like confused with the previous day's analysis or trying to make yesterday's analysis today's analysis. So like trying to separate it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, my main thing is like these higher time frames. Like I just honestly I want to keep them up there as far as like the skeleton and everything, but it is a good practice. I just want to lead by example as well. Of just clearing charts and breaking everything down top to bottom.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, I see the move that you were just talking about on gold.
What was that? Oh yeah.
Move. Yeah. Scrubbing.
So let's see. I'll break that trade down for you as well. What am I looking for? They my computer literally just updated yesterday out of nowhere. So I'm trying to get used to the layout. I don't know if you recognize it, but you see how it's a little bit different.
Oh, like the bottom part is smaller?
No, it's just but like the whole setup, like everything is a little bit more like aesthetically pleasing. Even
okay.
with the windows, like they're like it's like curved. Here, let me see if I can show you. Like Slack was always like cut off, like a nice corner right here. Now everything is like curved over. Same thing with like internet right here.
Right, I got
It's all, I don't know. It's I don't know. I like it
I
though.
get you.
Good.
That's funny.
Okay. So looking over here at what we have today. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the yesterday. Apologize for yesterday. That was brutal. I never get headaches either.
Do you feel better? Is it
Yeah, oh yeah, way better. Way better. I was able to take a nap, sleep it off, rest my brain a little bit, and get right back to it. But so what we had yesterday, not too much other than what you had was Bullard speaking and you had Lagarde speaking. Now, what Bullard was saying yesterday was that they're going to need to increase rates, and I think he was saying we need to raise by 100 basis points by June or something like that, right, to even out economic activity and even out the monetary policy, getting back to a regular neutral stance when it comes to any kind of monetary policy or interest rate, wherever interest rates sit, right? So they want to get to a more normal place instead of like just a 25 basis point interest rate. We need to get back to normal. So that's what he was saying yesterday. Now, this morning, what we had was average earnings index, claim account change, and unemployment. So this is basically like NFP for the US, right? But for Great Britain. So what you had was average earnings index rose 4.3%, which is good. Claim account change rose a little bit, which is okay. It just didn't raise by that much. And we've also had previous months of some pretty good numbers over here when it comes to that anyway. So what you also have was unemployment was stayed the same, right? So that's not that big of a deal. So you didn't see much of a change on GJ, nothing like crazy, because this was all like kind of mixed data. Again, when you have mixed data, you're gonna have a ranging market. When you have like extremely bad data or extremely good data, then you'll get that trending market. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the zoo economic sentiment in German zoo economic sentiment, I believe, is down right now just because of everything going on with Ukraine and Germany being very heavily involved with it as well. So that's what we had today. Obviously, bad numbers, but what we have today, the main focus is going to be PPI. Now, this is actually a huge week when it comes to fundamental economic stats. We have a lot coming out today, or not today, but this week. So starting over here with the PPI, core PPI, Empire State Manufacturing Index. Tomorrow, what you're going to have is CPI coming out for Great Britain, CPI coming out for Canada. You have core retail sales coming out for the U.S., retail sales coming out for the U.S., industrial production, crude oil inventories, which will be interesting after everything going on with Ukraine. And I mean, the inventories aren't going to get too affected, but the main thing is going to be the price of oil, with everything going on right now with the price of oil, that's what you want to pay attention to. You have FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. Australian, you got the unemployment stats coming out as well. Then moving into Thursday, you have Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and you have unemployment claims coming out. That also starts the G20 meetings between the 20 countries that come together, like NATO and the alliances that you have in Europe and the US. You have Bullard speaking again, right? And then you have Mester is speaking as well. So we need to pay attention to what these FOMC members are saying about the current economic sentiment and what they think we're going to be doing come March when we want to increase rates. Are we actually going to? Are we getting more of that sentiment, moving more hawkish, or are people staying dovish? Friday, we have retail sales coming out for Great Britain. We have retail sales coming out for Canada as well. We have existing home sales in the US. You got day 2 of G20. You have some FOMC members speaking as well. So this is a big week. Again, retail sales. You got unemployment. You have retail sales coming out of the US. You have CPI, PPI. So we have a lot coming up, which is cool. We got a nice trending market. We should at least. So we'll see what's going on. Now, the big news that happened this morning that tanked on gold was Russia and Ukraine kind of, de-escalated their talks, and it became more of a diplomatic approach instead of, we're going to attack you with our military. It's more of like, okay, we need to settle this a more diplomatic way. And Putin started pulling his troops from the southern and eastern border of Ukraine. So that's good. It's good for the world, good for everything right now. Definitely good for Ukraine. Yeah. So that's good to see. That's why you got that tank on gold. Make sense?
Yeah, interesting.
Do you have any questions?
Nope, not
awesome. All right, let's start breaking the GJ down over here. Now again, we got our skeleton of the higher time frames. Do I ever sound like a broken record with this?
The skeleton part?
No. The just like some of these higher time frames and breaking these down, or do you have a good idea of like what was going on during these times?
I mean, I don't think it's like a broken record.
Okay, cool.
It's good to hear it over, cool. In my opinion.
I just, after me breaking down the higher time frames for you for the last 20 times, I feel like, I start to sound a little bit repetitive, which is okay because it sticks in your head. But at the same time, it's like, I could see it getting annoying. And plus, everyone hates the sound of their own voice anyways. That's
the thing.
Yeah, 100%. So again, I'm just going to mark off some of these key levels over here. Got COVID, got that recovery from COVID. You have 149 flat. You have 156, which we are staying above right now. Ooh, I almost got it. All right. And that's really like the only levels that we need to mark off on the monthly. But the good thing is previous month over here ended up closing below this area. And the previous week ended up closing above 156 over here before we came down to grab liquidity before continuing up. I'm looking at buys on GJ, right? You're seeing the weakness in the Japanese yen. You see strength in the pound right now. So with the increase in interest rates and a possible increase in interest rates next month as well. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I am very bullish on GJ, especially after holding support down here and continuing up. We just got to see if this month we hold above 156 and continue bullish. All right, looking at the weekly now. Mark off that wick. Off the current wick right over here as well. But what you have, or what you had, was this liquidity grab coming right back down into this area, holding support and pushing up. Again, with the fact that they were going to increase rates, and they actually did. So that's what you had right over here, pushing us all the way up. Then we had all the issues going on with Ukraine and Russia, a lot of fear in the market, which pushed price right back down below this level. This candle came right back down, grabbed liquidity, and now we're flipping bullish to continue up. We have a wick to possibly fill up here. get some clean candles, I would say, creating higher highs, higher lows. The only thing is this area was rejected again with this candle. So can we push up into here and then reject this area again? We're looking at the daily. This looks good so far. We have our resistance right up here. I mean, you have this whole thing that you could basically mark off, but we're not going to do that. So you have this resistance. We ended up holding resistance over here and shooting down, but creating a higher low than we had over here, right? We grabbed liquidity multiple times, tapped into this area on the daily, but we ended up closing above here like a doji. This candle created a bottom wick, flip bullish, and tapped the high of this candle just about, right? This wick, it almost filled.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it ended up rejecting it. Last time we were in this area, we've rejected multiple times. All right, now looking at the 4 hour, what I see right now is like a range in between here, but what I see is like 156,500 over here, this previous resistance. We finally broke above, closed above, or are we coming down and retest that area to continue up? Because what you had was this bearish trend, price pushing all the way down here, creating this low, but holding this support, right? We got a strong rejection of that level, just like we got over here with price gradually pushing up, right? So now we revisited that area, created this high, come down, retest 156 flat, right? And then we get a strong close above that area after the rejection of 156. So now what I want to look at is some of the lower time frames, but somewhere in here, like what's going on in here, and are we going to hold this as a support to continue to drive up? Just looking at levels now.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're basically just sitting in this range. I wouldn't really be trading in this. I was thinking about seeing if we were holding support over here, especially with this candle right here, but now we got a bearish candle to follow. So are we going to close above this level, 158 or 156,850, right? Because then you get the cleaner move to the left that you can mirror. So I'm just looking for a move above that level, and I'm not looking to trade in here too much. It's a little messy. And everything is basically sideways anyway. I think you're going to get safer sells below 156. And then you get safe buys above 158,850.
When we look at the daily time frame and we see that there's like some sort of break and retest situation just a little bit higher up in price.
Where at? Right over here?
I guess it could be like here and then here probably.
Yes.
Or somewhere in between here.
Mm-hmm.
Can that be like an extra confirmation of how bullish we are currently?
As far like holding support right here?
Maybe because like I'm looking at the monthly time frame as well. And like obviously we very clearly broke out of that 156 level, like the candle's like fully out.
Yep.
Not to say that it can't retrace. But because of that, just kind of like giving that specific move extra confirmations when you go down, because obviously like as you start going down, it all starts kind of looking the same, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to lose focus of the fact that that move is very different than the ones before it, I guess. If that makes sense. Because like the ones before closed below like the 156, right? Like every other candle before this very last one. So I guess I'm trying to find like some sort of confluence with the lower time frames that can help us see like, oh yeah, like it broke out of that level.
True.
if that makes sense.
You're probably not gonna see that until we get like a close above 158 on the higher
Okay.
time frames, right? Or like if on the lower time frames we get like that break and retest up here, and price
Mm-hmm.
starts to pump up, and then we get the retest of this level right over here, and then we get some bullish candles closing on the 1 hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna see that on the higher time frames until you get something like that, because then you get a really strong monthly candle. And if you do get that this month, we're going to be up here. We're going to be farther away from 156. Like this
Right.
monthly candle, the current price of that monthly candle is going to be all the way up here
Mm-hmm.
if that happens. But we keep projecting this level, and we need some fundamentals to break us out of this whole area over here, like another increase in rates, like further signs that the economy is starting to get back to normal. The only thing is with Great Britain is they're getting out of that lockdown phase, and you know, when you get out of that lockdown phase, the data is like so drastic because like everyone's getting back to work and stuff like that. So now after that already happened, it's starting to slow down. Even though you are seeing that improvement in the UK economy, it's still like a lot slower than it was when it first like kind of took off a little bit better. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's we're just gonna wait on GJ over here. Again, I'm looking for buys on GJ. I think we were just coming down to grab liquidity over here, not to mention, you know, all the global tension. So right now we ended up holding support down here again, right? Now we created another higher low over here. Could we be creating another higher low over here, consolidating and then continuing up? Because like price doesn't have to when here, let me move this over here. When price reaches a new high, like it did right here, it doesn't have to come all the way down to retest over here and then continue up. It could very well consolidate and then we continue up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot. It doesn't just come down, create a support, and then continue up to retest the high. It'll consolidate by the new high and then continue up. So
Right.
I'm looking for that. Were you about to say something?
No.
Was that a yes?
No.
Oh. All right. So let's start breaking gold down over here. We'll keep our eye on this. I'm actually going to set some alerts right here on either side of this range. Perfect. So we'll see what happens with GJ. So looking at gold over here now, again, we are very bullish on the monthly, right? Nice, healthy, bullish candle closing. It looks like it's about to close above like 1830, 1840, above here, holding support, holding a higher low after holding support down here at 1750, which I'm going to mark off right now. So 1750 is obviously a very strong support over here. We know we have 1830. We'll break that down on the lower time frames. But right now we are holding this higher support, higher low over here. I'm just going to mark off the wick of that monthly candle right there. So also we have our high up here. So we can mark that off. And we have our trend line. There we go. Beautiful. So now we're actually approaching a trend line to the upside, but I'll actually break that down on the weekly. Let's see what we got here. All right. We've been respecting this trend line multiple times as well. Right? Every time we tap into this area, we just tank. Did the same thing over here at 1880. And right now we are just reacting to that level as well. Same exact level, same exact kind of top wick, right? On this candle, flipping bearish over here. So are we going to continue down here, or are we going to come down, create this higher low, and then continue to drive up? But the only thing is, something would drastically have to happen in the world for this to happen, right? We're going to need Ukraine to actually invade, or Russia to actually invade Ukraine. We're going to need the U.S. to get involved militarily. That's what would have to happen for this to continue up. But at the same time, like with war, it's not going to just happen at once. We're going to have like a spike, and then we're just going to consolidate a little bit and then continue to gradually rally on gold to retest previous highs up here. And, again, we'd have to get into some kind of world war for that to happen, I believe. So now, as you can see, we're rejecting this level again. We have 1830 that I'm going to mark off. And now we're so far holding above, right? We ended up retesting these highs up here, strong bullish close, but now we passed the high and now we're starting to reject. So can we start to drive down into this area over here and retest 1830, 1840, and then continue up? Or are we going to continue down from here if nothing happens with Ukraine and Russia and we get some good data, less fear in the market? All those things need to be happening, and you're going to see gold continue to correct itself from this bullish move.
Mhm.
All right. Now, what you can see here is price approaching a previous area of interest. Previous support, resistance over here. Now we're coming right back down into that level. We've been in this bullish trend, higher highs, higher lows, even with the good NFP data over here. Pushed us all the way down, grab liquidity, but we've been continuing up since then. So can gold continue down into this area, hold support, hold a higher low, and then continue up to retest the highs? Trying to see if I see anything else here that we can be pointing out. Yes. Yeah, this whole area too. Previous support, resistance, and now another resistance over here, 1870, critical level. So now we're just sitting right inside this range, previous range as well. 4 hour, sitting right inside of here. We ended up pushing above, right? We ended up holding support above 1850, right? Nice move, pushing all the way up, creating this high, breaking 1870, which I didn't know if we were going to do. But we actually did, but we never retested it, right?
Mhm.
We ended up rejecting this level up here, 1879. Just trying to see what this level was on my higher time frames. Oh, 1879 was the monthly wick. So we could take that off for now. Once you see, yeah. You can take that off for now. So now we just corrected this whole move from the support that we held at 1850, right? Corrected the entire thing. Are we continuing right back down? I could see it happening. Let's just adjust that real quick. Perfect. All right. So now below this level here, you get a clean move, right? You get a clean move all the way down to at least this area right here. So can we end up getting this move 135 pips right here on gold if we break below? Plus, you're taking sells back into a higher demand zone to possibly continue right back up. So you're playing these sells back here, short-lived sells, to then continue to drive up if we do so.
Mhm.
Plus, you got clean moves here if that happens. Got a clean move here. All these clean moves for when price comes down into this area and drives up.
Mhm.
So we get some clean candles, 1 hour. So the 1 hour, we're going to see some sort of rejection of this whole area right here. Previous resistance, support as well. Draw that like that if you'd like. So right now we're sitting in here. But again, you got this whole area, clean move that we could be retesting. 30 minute, we're continuing right back down. Now, this is the move that I grabbed this morning, Kat.
Mhm.
We got the fundamentals on our side, de-escalation in Eastern Europe. you have this tank coming all the way back down, creating this low over here. We retrace, right? Sellers cash out, buyers come in a little bit, and then sellers take over again. Get this bearish close. We got these candles kind of consolidating in this area after retesting the low over here. And then what you got was the next 30-minute candle creating a top wick. I saw the volume in this candle because this thing created that wick fast, and it started to drop below this candle and continue down fast as well, a lot faster than this candle, right? I was thinking about entering on this candle, but I wanted to wait for this one because this is the one that had the volume.
Stop loss in the 30-minute.
What was that?
You entered in the 30-minute.
I did. Yep. So what I saw was, again, the retest of this previous wick over here that I wanted to get, and we got that impulse entry. When you see wicks like this, see how they're like creating these higher lows, and then these bodies right over here start to get weaker. You get the tank. These candles never pass the high of one another, right? This candle created its top wick, passed the low of this candle right here, started to pass the low. But again, like, I wish I could point out, I'll point out next time I see it, when you get like high volume candles where this thing is just like gradually pushing as much as it can. You know, you could really tell with some of these candles. This is one of them. That's why you want to know when the high volume time is with your pair and when you get those pushes, because that's what you are, a volume trader. So when you don't have volume, when you don't see volume in a pair, and you have a setup that you like for an impulse entry, but again, there's no volume, you might want to either lower your risk or just not take it at all and wait for the volume to come in. Or wait for the candle to close, even better.
So your entry was at which point exactly?
Sure. Right here. Stop loss right there. Take profit was about 40 pips away. So we're in here.
Makes sense.
So what I did was price dropped and filled this wick right here. I got my 1-to-1 around 18 pips. Stop loss at break even. Take profit was down here. It got tapped. So very simple. Very simple setup. I did lower my risk just a little bit. Instead of risking 2%, I risked 1.5 because you have all these rejections down here. But I was pretty confident that we were going to fill this wick with the way these candles were forming, especially if we pass the low over here. Again, you know, beginning of pre-New York really has low volume, but once you start to get past like 6:30, then there's a possibility that you could get a push. I've seen many pushes at 6:30.
Right.
But any time before that, it's a little sticky.
Before 6:30, you mean?
Yes. Especially as of late. It's just been like messy around that time.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
All right. So what would you like to go over? This is basically like a one-on-one Zoom.
I'm just really slow at charting up. Oh my God. I'm like still charting as you've been kind of talking through these things as well. I'm like almost done. Actually, I wanted to ask a question about GJ really quick because so the way that I was looking at it, it was that okay, well, obviously breaking down from like higher time frames to lower time frames.
You said GJ or gold?
GJ.
Okay. And don't be discouraged if GJ isn't that clear to you right now. Like, that's okay, because we're really consolidating on a higher time frame, right? You got big wicks. You got a 4-hour kind of sideways right here. Okay. So don't be too discouraged that it's not as clear to you as it could be. But I could break anything down that you want me to further.
Okay, so I was seeing like full break of structure cells sort of below like 155, like those are like safe sells kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
155,
I'm
300.
still, yeah, there's like a pretty big range there, huh? And then I was looking at like the 4 hour, just like how you were showing right now, like that consolidating candle. And then I went down to the 1 hour time frame, and I'm wondering, because I'm trying to keep that in mind, right? Like structure. I have my little papelito. Okay, yeah. Just like top-down analysis, structure, the most recent support and resistance, and then kind of like figuring out where price can break out to.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, looking at the 4 hour, I drew like a little support and resistance right at those two levels on the 4 hour. And then I'm going down to the 1 hour, but I'm wondering if I should tighten that up to see it on the 1 hour, you know what I mean? Like, or if I should just keep it on the 4 hour, like, okay, if it breaks out of these 4 hour support and resistance.
Which one though?
That very last one, just
This one or this
here
one?
and here.
Okay.
Like for current price, like, all right, if we break out of here, because then if you go to the 1 hour, obviously like the structure of like the wicks and stuff changes, where I could technically tighten it up just a smidge kind of thing. And I'm wondering if I should do that or if I should just keep it outside of this kind of deal.
Just understand that the wider they are, the safer you are.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like instead of like making them super tight, because I've had tendencies of doing that, especially in the beginning of my trading career, where I would make the zones very tight.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of an example. I'll find one, but what I'm saying is like I would try to keep it very tight just because like I wanted to see the move. I wanted to, I wanted to get the
Yeah.
move, and I was afraid I'd miss it if my things were too wide or anything like that. I'm not saying do it too wide, but I'm saying like, you just want to understand that like you need to break this level because you have this level E50 as well, psychological number, but previous support, resistance here, resistance here. So it's best to wait for this level to break right over here before taking buys. And it's best to wait for, this is all range over here,
Mhm.
even though we have this 500 level that we keep like holding as a resistance and also a support. This whole thing is basically a sideways range. It's not until
Mhm.
you break 156 until you get a clean move to the left or multiple clean moves to the left and a further bearish trending market.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Okay.
So you're saying safe sells below 156.
156.
So you would not take like, or you would take a scalp out of that 4 hour range that we just mentioned. You just safer sells are there.
Yeah, it's I would wait for price to break above this resistance and
Mhm.
also below here. It's very tricky, and also GJ this whole week has been very rangy, right? You only had this move right here yesterday, or actually this morning,
The news.
with some of the data that we got out, right? It's just a nice little spike up, right? Now we're consolidating again. So now we got to see if we do actually hold support here, which it looks like it's doing, because you got this candle, this bullish candle close, and that support held, and then you got a retest of this area. And so far, we're holding in this whole area right here. So we're starting to push up. So now if we get some volume, it could push us through here. And then this is the move you grab. Yeah, these are this is a time where it's best to be like concentrating on gold, especially with what's going on with gold right now. And the global economy and some fear coming out of the market. And really just waiting for, setting your alerts on GJ, and that's the only thing you're going to be happy with. And if not, then you're just not going to trade.
Okay.
Holy
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
gold.
Jesus.
Yeah. Piss my tea probably got hit. So perfect. We're creating that low. We could very well miss it, but we're creating a low right now, nonetheless, with a clean move to the left. We create that low. What time is it? So 7:30. We could get a close somewhere around this area, a retest, and then continue down. See, this is where your expertise comes in with gold, where you can catch some of these on the lower time frames. Like
Like on the
you're
1
looking
minute?
at the 1 minute. What's up?
At the 1 minute?
Yes, yeah, that's down the road. That's what you want to start back testing and understanding the way it moves on those lower time frames.
Yeah, I mean, I would at some point I was like looking at lower time frames like that, but I guess I was doing more like supply and demand type thing, which that's kind of been ringing in my head lately. I don't know if it's like some FOMO thing that I'm going through or what. I don't know. I mean, all these different concepts, like I don't want to get too wrapped into one or the other because they are like intertwined in some way. But I don't know what I'm getting at, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's you have your trading plan and you want to stick to that right now. Don't worry about the 1 minute and all that stuff. Do that, focus on that stuff when you have a back testing session on your own. You're just trying to try some things out. You're seeing if it works, and if it doesn't, you're live back testing this, right? So like you see price create this low down here, we start to come up, retrace a little bit, retest some of this area up here, retest 1853, hold resistance right here, and you're just going to live back test this to see, okay, can we get a further drop here on gold? After like right here, a little bit wide over stop loss. You're anticipating a retest of this low and some volume to push in around 715. All right. So you journal this, you start to get this correct multiple times. It's like, okay, now I can start seeing how I can implement this into my trading plan to see how I can have a profitable system trading this way. It's not easy, right? Trading is not easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience. And it's something that you have to have a deep passion for, or else it's just not going to work.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, because I'm looking right now at gold too, and it's just at this point you just have to wait for like a support to form or something because there's nothing clear. There's no like recent support and resistance unless it's on a higher time frame, which I marked off the weekly level, and now it's like breaking out of the weekly level, potentially going into the monthly level. But I'm kind of just, I'm wondering if like, yeah, exactly how you were saying, like if it could come back to test 1828 to then come back.
Yeah, we could come down somewhere into this area over here and then continue back up. If we get any fear in the market or further fear, you know, talks fall out with Russia and Ukraine.
So would you say your bias is buys on gold or like, or sorry, like bullish? Because I feel like
well, I'm sorry, were you done?
No, I was just thinking.
I was saying when it comes to my bias on gold, I am bullish. Until this morning, I was, you know, trying to figure out what was going on with that, but that swayed my decision a little bit. Like I honestly was almost accepting the fact that they were going to invade. Like if you listen to Putin and what he was talking about, and you know the way they view Ukraine and everything, and you know everything ramping up, the way the U.S. is handling it as well, I was expecting that to probably happen. I knew there was a good chance it wouldn't, but at the same time, like that's what it was looking like, and that's what was being priced in here. So when this morning, when they started de-escalating everything, they moved troops from the eastern and southern border of Ukraine back to their bases. That's what brought gold back down. Now, if you start to get further hawkish sentiment out of the Fed as well, right? Because there's multiple reasons why gold is bullish right now too. But at the same time, there's multiple reasons why it could start to fall again. And that's mainly because of, you know, that whole situation de-escalating, and also the Fed being more hawkish, especially other central banks as well.
Right.
So you start to get some of that, and you'll get, you know, a close right back below 1830, right? And we're back to ranging again. What's up, Gio?
What's up, guys? Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
How
Doing
was your
good.
weekend, man?
Not too bad. How about you?
It's good, man. Eventful. A lot of shit going on. Felt like such a long weekend, especially with Valentine's Day yesterday. It just felt like the weekend wasn't over. Did you guys do anything for Valentine's Day?
Not me.
Nothing?
Not really, no.
Hey, do you and your boyfriend live close, or is it long distance? I forget.
Somewhat, but he's like really busy with PA school,
That's right.
so I don't get to see him too often, which is fine by me. That
What
doesn't
was
sound
that?
fine, does it?
What did you say?
I said, which I don't get to see him very often, which is fine by me, but I was like, that doesn't really sound like I'm fine.
Yeah, no, it's
No, but to be honest though, like it's okay because it gives me like extra time to kind of focus on my stuff, to be honest.
yeah.
Like trading stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome that you look at it like that. Like that's almost like, you have someone you love, you have someone that you're dating and everything like that. But at the same time, like us as entrepreneurs, we need that time on our own to, invest in ourselves, invest time into ourselves. And if you have somebody else that you're splitting your time with, you're losing a lot of that time that you could be dedicating towards your craft. So
Yeah.
you almost have like an advantage right now that you have that time on your own that you could spend right now. Obviously you want to be with them, I get that. But
Yeah.
it's it's a blessing in disguise. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. And it's all going to be worth it, at the end when, he graduates or whatever he's got to do. And, you're a profitable trader doing really well in this. It's like, okay, we sacrifice that time away from each other and really put in the work. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember years ago when I was first starting in sales. Actually, I just want to show you guys GJ over here. They're gold. So this is exactly what we wanted. We got that range over here. Wait for that little retest of this area. I'm sure we're going to get top wick on the 30-minute. Maybe a small top wick and then it flips. And then we can fill that wick. I'd still
Right.
be in this if my take profit didn't get hit, but oh well.
I'm
Maybe I'll
looking at
re-enter. We'll see.
Mm.
But I want a top
I
wick on this 30-minute.
like to go to fill the wick.
I
Just
want
kind
this
of
wick to be
flip and-
filled. This is a strong enough candle close for me to think that this wick is going to get filled instead of like a whole rejection wick where the candle closed like somewhere around here above this level. This is a strong wick below this or a strong candle below this support.
But for that to happen, we want to see that wick first.
Yeah, I need to see a top wick formed, especially because it's a re-entry. It's a second trade of the day when I already just got a win. I already just got how many pips at 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was somewhere around 40.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed that gold is quite good with wick fills as well. So like I was kind of looking at that too, but I was like,
Yeah, just again, you have your certain rules, and one of mine is I just got to get that top wick.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I was saying before was so I was in sales, and this is when I first started the driving stuff, where I bought a car to Uber, and this is when Uber was huge too, and being an Uber driver was huge. Just easy money. I think drivers are getting paid a lot more than they are now, or making a lot more. But anyway, I was doing that from 4 to 8 in the morning, and then after that, I would get ready and go to the office at 9. I'd be there till 5. Go to the gym, and then be driving again from that point until like 10 or 11 at night. And I would start that all over again, 4 in the morning the next day. All right. So when I was doing that, I was still living with my parents. And Meg and she was living with her mom as well. And she had a graphic design job up at Toys R Us. The warehouse, not warehouse, the headquarters for Toys R Us was up in Wayne, New Jersey. And she had to drive 2 hours there, 2 hours back every single day. So we had think about my schedule and her schedule too. She wouldn't get home till later at night. We'd only have like 20, 30 minutes together before we fell asleep. And if we were able to sleep at each other's parents' houses. Like, you know, it really didn't make sense some nights, right?
Yeah.
So, like maybe we would get 2 or 3 nights like that, but like
Yeah.
we both understood the sacrifice. We knew what we had to do.
Yeah,
And it was
definitely.
almost like a blessing in disguise having that time on our own, that we could get a lot done. Like I can make money, I could focus on sales, I could focus on, you know, the business that we had.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's really important.
So it's just some good and also perspective, like to understand, like, you know, what you guys are going through right now. Maybe it's a little bit easier than a schedule like that, hopefully. I
Yeah.
wouldn't wish that on anybody, but it's all worth it. You know,
Yeah,
you
no,
find
for
the right
sure.
person and you guys make those sacrifices together.
Yeah. I mean, my priority right now really is like just figuring my shit out because I feel like there's so many things and I'm one of those people that like I always feel like I'm not doing enough. So I can really like beat myself up.
Mm.
um so it's like I'm trying to figure out like that balance and what that balance is for me. It looks like it's gonna do that work though without the top wick. What the heck?
Yeah, it looks like we're not getting that top wick.
Mm-mm.
Can we
Yes,
fill
I'm
this wick
waiting.
right here?
Is there any news coming out?
Well, I mean, the news came out. Well, actually, no, we have PPI coming out in about an hour.
Hmm.
So that could be interesting. And they're expecting bigger numbers for that. They're expecting a 0.5 or half a percent increase right here in producers' prices, which is not good.
So okay, I'm gonna try to dissect this.
Yeah.
In this case, actual greater than forecast is good for currency.
It's normally good for currency. In today's
But right now
environment,
it's not.
not so much.
So we could see if a greater number comes out that gold, sorry, that the US dollar actually
Well, let's
weakens.
let's do what we did last time, right? Where we're just gonna pull this off to the side. We're gonna go back and see what PPI came out the last couple of dates. So January. Hate for you guys to miss gold right here.
What the wick fill?
Yeah. This candle's starting to flip. I don't know.
It's kind of still like it's not moving, which
Yeah. That's again where some of these lower time frames come in handy to see how price is reacting to certain levels. So as you can see, we have that resistance formed over here. We break the previous support, right? Are we coming up to retest this previous support over here to continue down? Just like the 30-minute, right? Just like the 15-minute, the 1 hour, it's the same exact thing. So now we're retesting this area. Are we going to hold below that area and continue bearish? Or are we going to come up, grab liquidity again, and continue right back down? Just stay patient. There you go. That could be our wick forming soon. I would love to get like candle closes, like a traditional move over here, where we then fill the wick later on. Right? Like what we could have is this whole move from the Russia-Ukraine talks exhaust a little bit. We price it or we wait for PPI, right? Price ranges a little bit before PPI, and then price continues right back down to fill that wick. So again, looking over here, January 13th, 2022. Wow, it's crazy. 2022. We had lower than expected and lower than previous as well. So let's see what January 13 gave us. Go to like the 15-minute.
oh wait, sorry, quick question for gold. Since it is flipping, if it does break below, like that could be a good possibility.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But again, just keep in mind you got PPI coming out. That's a red folder event. That's inflation data. That might be like arguably the main focus of the week, other than Ukraine and Russia. So, and then also what the FOMC members are speaking and saying. You also have retail sales coming out. You have retail sales coming out for Great Britain as well. So again, let's go back to January 13th and see what it gave us. So January 13th, we were near 1830 over here. Where was our news? 830. Okay. So we got we were in a bearish trend over here, right? We were holding resistance. We created a lower high, another lower high over here. Price comes all the way back down to this support over here. And then that data was released, right? So we had lower than expected PPI where price just shot up over here. And then the reaction to the news was holding a resistance and another lower high over here to continue down. So let's compare that to something where in December 14th, we had much higher inflation, much higher numbers coming out for producers.
Right.
So right over here, let's see, December 14th. And again, it's not always going to happen. Like I think we saw that with CPI, right? CPI, we were looking at all this data coming out and looking at the history of it. And we were getting, like when the data came out for gold that day, it was just completely out of whack for what we were expecting it to happen, especially based on the last 5 dates that we backtested, right? What date did I say? Also, you know what? Before we do this, I do want to go back to gold real quick, just because of the setup that we have right now. We got that top wick. Now look at the 5 minute. Did we just grab liquidity? Are we going to pass the low over here to continue down? I think a safe spot for your stop loss could be above that wick right here. Let's just see what happens with this candle. Does it pass the low over here? Do we get that volume pumping where this candle's like going all over the place? Not too crazy, but look at the 1 minute. There you go. You get that liquidity grab over here. Let's see if we're able to break this low. So right here, you kind of got like a little fake out of this area to possibly continue down. I'm holding that support over there. So here you go. You had 1790 prices all the way down here. And we got worse than expected PPI, which dropped us all the way down, showing that they were probably going to, it shows that the Fed needs to increase rates, right? When you have high inflation like that. Right over here, 0.8%. It rose by almost 1% for that month. So that's obviously not too good. It's normally good for the dollar, right? It's good when we have some sort of inflation because people are spending money, right? But when we have a current environment that we have right now, those kind of numbers worry a lot of people. But we did get that tank over here, which is good. for the dollar. I just don't want to miss gold over here. Are you guys both watching gold? I know Gio doesn't even trade gold, right? Cat?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm briefly looking at it, but I don't know how I feel about it since it's like taking kind of a long time.
Well, I mean, there were two previous moves that we just got. We just got a nice volume push right over here to fill this wick over here and continue right back down and create this low. So that was one nice volume push. Then we get another one, and that was at 6:30. Then we get another one around 7:15, right? So what are
Yeah.
the chances we get another one of those before PPI?
Right.
I mean, we'll see. We could, but we need to break this level right here.
Would you be iffy about getting in before the 15-minute candle close if a move happens? Or not really?
This 15-minute candle is so much weaker now than this one. Like if this one was going to fill this wick right away, it would have just, we would have been pushing. But no, we rejected this area for some reason, right? So now it's going to take us a little bit longer to come right back down and retest the low, especially with the fact that we got PPI coming out.
So we do take into consideration like the 15-minute close type thing.
Yeah. I mean, you see that it's a lot weaker now, right? Not weaker, but yeah, you could say that. Candle. It's a little bit weaker of a candle now than this one. So you see it's starting to slow down. You got a nice little correction over here. You got a support held with this candle right here with a wick to possibly fill on the 5-minute. So now you know that we just need to clear this area over here. If we clear to the upside, I'm not taking anything. If we close below this area or start to pass this low down here, that might be nice. We just got another lower high being created.
Mm-hmm.
So that we continue down from here.
Would the stop loss change now that we have a new 15-minute candle?
Stop loss. The stop loss, depending on how this plays out, I would probably put it right around here. Should be good right there. You could very well put it above this wick too. Are you looking to take this?
Yeah, just because all the wick fills I've taken have been pretty okay. So,
I mean, we have fundamentals behind us, right? A lot of de-escalation, a lot of, it's pre-New York, so we got some traders coming in from New York right now. You got the London volume as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
I'm looking at the 30-minute, I guess, but with consideration of stop loss, looking at the 15.
Yeah, that's another thing. What time is it? 15-minute just closed the way it did. Yeah, this will be interesting. Right now, you don't have any volume, right? Price is just ranging here.
Yeah, right. I feel like it would probably be like a 1-to-1 trade, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Especially on those lower time frames. GJ, we ended up holding support with that 30-minute, right? We held support here, held it again. So now we're respecting this area. Again, we need to clear out of here.
Right.
Oh, we got Gio on here. Gio, what are you looking at on DJ?
Same thing. I'm waiting for a break of 156.900.
900. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a break and close at that area.
Nice.
Makes sense.
You're not looking to trade anything in here, right?
Not really. No.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the break of 156. Unless you get like a super clean pattern like this. Because you never say never with trading because you never know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolates. So if you get like a perfect like setup right over here, I could see us lowering risk and taking this. Again, like I want to keep stressing this risk management. A lot of that has to do with before the trade too, not just like in the trade and closing partials or, securing profits, anything like that. It's trying to figure out what to risk on each trade, each opportunity that you're given, because you have different setups in your toolbox, right? So which setups are you going to feel comfortable risking a little bit more on, and which ones are you going to either live back test and just not touch it at all, or just lower your risk a little bit on it and experiment with it?
Well, I would only change my bias once GJ starts breaking 155 400, like the 4 hour support.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So right over here.
Once that support breaks, then I'll change my bias to bearish.
100%. I'm still very bullish, right? We've had this bullish pattern coming all the way up to 158 again, retesting that area. Now, who's to say that we're completely flipping our bias now that we're a little bit bearish over here? No, we come down to this previous demand zone that we've rejected multiple times over here, right? Holding support, strong bullish close. You get a higher low formed over here, right? We increased rates. They're probably going to increase rates again. So what are the chances that we just continue bullish from here, especially with weakness in the Japanese yen? You see all the de-escalation with Russia and Ukraine, right? And that's the escalation was what this was, right? Strengthen the Japanese yen for fear in the market. So now that people are pulling their money out of the Japanese yen now, price is going to push up. Now, this is, again, different from GU, a pair like GU, where GU, you're going against the dollar. The dollar is going to be strong no matter what, right? Between the Fed increasing rates and also it being a safe haven currency with everything going on with Russia, it's going to be a little bit different. But you're going to see a nice bullish rally once you get, some calmness in the market on any kind of yen pair, especially GJ. But yeah, I think this is just a higher low and we're continuing up from here. It's just that the current price action is a little messy in here because we are ranging. Like it's like, all right, we created this higher low or we respected the previous support. What are the chances from here that we retest these highs up here? We shall see. A lot of yawning today. So now we ended up holding the support on gold. Stayed patient, right? We're waiting. And this is exactly what we wanted to see. This is another part of our plan where we were waiting for this retest. And then we come down and retest this, which is actually what I'd rather see, right? Especially after already taking this move. I don't want to be just taking like an impulse entry to continue right back down. I would definitely be lowering my risk for that, but I'd rather see something like, a retest of this area, get some bearish candles closing. We start to break the lows over here, right? Start to break structure on the lower time frames, and then we continue down. And then this could be your move, which will be, hopefully 36 pips is enough for you. 37. That should be good. Clean move to the left too. You got a wick to fill. That's all you want to wait for. If you don't get it, you don't trade. Gio, you taking anything yet this year or this week?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, GJ's been messy. The only move we really had was this move up from London this morning with the data coming out. Let's do this. Oh. Gio, you traveling?
Yeah, I'm actually on a business trip right now.
Nice. Where at?
It's just here at the Bay Area.
Okay. You watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
That
yeah, I lost
stadium
money.
is sick.
Huh?
That stadium you guys got out there is sick.
I'm sorry, you were cutting off. What were you saying?
I was saying that stadium you guys have out there is sick.
Oh yeah, it was brand new.
SoFi,
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah,
the outside of it reminds me of the Barclays Center in
looks
Brooklyn,
like it.
right?
Yeah.
It's like a much bigger version of it. Is it right next to the old forum?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, it's I heard prior to the Super Bowl, they did a cleanup around the area. Like
Uh-huh.
they move all the homeless.
Did they?
Yeah, it was because I was telling my friend that lives close to the area, like how was it like after because I know it's gonna be pretty busy,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he was surprised. He's like, yeah, all it was their city is pretty clean. Like they did a total cleanup of the neighborhood right before the game.
Did you see all the everyone without masks,
Yeah, I know.
including
I mean,
Garcetti?
they actually did. Was it? No, actually, what's the? Yeah, today. Today's the dropping off the mandate, but it will still
Where?
be up to every county if they're still gonna implement, the mask mandate. But statewide, they're dropping off the mandate.
Wow. In California?
Yeah,
It's a big step. Let's hope it
I
doesn't
was
come
I
back.
was I was actually surprised because I was in what was it? Where was I? Kentucky and Louisiana,
Okay.
and I wasn't wearing a mask at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wear masks like if I go indoors, just to comply whatever they were asking for. Like
Yeah.
it's just for formality. But yeah, I was surprised. I was actually yesterday. I was in school. It was their first day of reopening, and I was just sitting down by myself on my computer, and I wasn't wearing a mask. And then somebody just approached me. He's like, "Can you please wear your mask?" I'm like,
Where
"Nobody's
is
sitting
this?
right next, huh?
Where was it?
Here in San Jose."
Oh wow, yeah. So someone where was this? Where were you
No, I was at their student union,
okay.
and nobody's sitting right next to me.
Yeah,
It's just me.
yeah.
And yeah, this guy just tried to approach me. He was like, "Can you please wear your mask?"
Hmm. What'd you say? You just did it?
No, I'm like, I was asking, but why? He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a policy. You're inside the facility." Okay. At least I think he works for kind of like a student security something that
Yeah. Yeah.
for the building or whatever.
Mm. Was he a lot younger than you?
It looks like it, yeah.
That's funny. Did you know what troubled me yesterday is I saw this video of these kids going into a school library and getting rid of all these like either religious books or anything like that. Basically, like doing what Marxists do, where they just destroy books, burn books. They were just like throwing them into dumpsters, just taking them all out of the library. Um, just like terrible. It's like, what makes you think that's like?
Wait, where's this?
I saw it on Instagram. Where's my phone? Let's see if I can find it for you. Let's see if I can find it. Where did I see this? I don't even know if I saved it.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the reasons why I think that schools are like the most what do you call it? They're having a debate before, or they were talking about on PBD podcast, which are the most powerful entity. It's kind of like, is it the social media? Is it the president of the United States? Is it the billionaires? Is it the school?
Who's the most powerful entity?
Yeah,
Um, who would be the most powerful? I mean, you got to
well, I
think
would
the
say,
government, but
yeah, I would say number one would be, I mean, number one would be the school. I mean, that's where, they could build whatever beliefs and principles they want to instill the younger generation.
yep.
I mean, no matter how you raise your kid, I think a school has a big influence, because once they enter college, it depends on what college you go, like whatever that college like beliefs and principle. By the time you get out, like they can totally brainwash you and totally make you believe whatever they want you to believe.
Yeah, yeah. But the other question you got to ask yourself too is who controls the schools, right? And you
That's
could
yeah,
always you could say the government, but at the same time, who controls the government? The lobbyists. So the lobbyists control the country. Like
yep.
they're the most powerful right now, and that can't be. When you have people constantly lobbying, now we get some volume. It's 8 o'clock right now. But I think lobbyists have the most power in this country, other than the central bank. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's true. That's what they're saying. What's his name? George Soros.
Soros, yeah, he's
Yeah,
one
he
of them.
is. He's controlling like politicians and stuff. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I've never agreed with this sentiment until like you actually diagnose it and like say it slowly. But you know that saying, money is the root of all evil?
mm-hmm.
Money, I hate saying that because like money could do so many good things, but at the same time, think of like just any sin that you can think of, or crime. A majority of it revolves around making money.
That is true.
You know, like that's the main incentive. That's all we spend our lives doing, is just chasing money. You really should be chasing happiness and loving yourself and stuff like that. But most people, you're spending 2/3 of your life trying to make money to survive and do your thing. But like if it wasn't money, if it wasn't cash, it would be something else that you're trading. So it's not actually money. It's just the idea of money and what it can do. We're getting deep this morning. Kick off the week. So
Yeah.
8 o'clock. Let's check out the hour on gold. So the gold already created this top wick, and it looks like we're starting to flip bearish over here. Created this haven't passed the high over here. This is very quick. Now going back to the 30-minute over here, was this just a liquidity grab? Are we going to stay below this previous support over here? Now I think you'll have safer sells below this level right here. Let me like sprint to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
Kat, did you take anything yesterday?
No, not. I haven't taken anything at all. Actually, no. I was like really looking at gold, trying to see if I could find something. GJ was just like a mess ranging, so I was like, nope. And then later on, I saw that like there was a valid buy at like 9:30 or 9:45, but I had to go at that time, so didn't catch it.
Yeah, GJ's just very messy. It's just we're ranging here, even in the higher time frame. Like yesterday, it closed like a doji candle. You just can't decide where to go.
Yeah. That's why I kind of don't like GJ sometimes. It's honestly like a love-hate kind of thing, because I feel like it behaves that way often. But then when the moves happen, they're nice, and usually I miss them.
Yeah, GJ actually. What I do is that I look at the higher time frame. Like I go to the daily or 4 hour, and I look
Uh-huh.
at the structure.
Right.
Uh, if I see that on the 4 hour we're on a good support, yeah, that's where I take the buy on the lower time frame.
That makes sense. No, yeah, I've been trying to really consider structure as well. I guess something I didn't really think too much about before, like being overextended and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I'm feeling with GJ, we might have that possibility to like retest or come back and correct the move to like at least maybe 156 or something like that. For me, like structure, like safe full sells, like okay, now I'm bearish, would be like below 155, 6-ish, something like that.
Yeah, if you need to wait for that support, like I think that 4 hour support at 155, somewhere in 500, it's a strong support. It has been tapped multiple times, so for me to switch my bias to bearish, that support needs to be broken.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's see if it actually moves today. I think it will probably. I don't know. Yesterday, like there was like a really quick news move on GJ.
Yeah, what was that news? Yeah, I was not on the chart. I was traveling yesterday when I saw that move.
So it was not on Forex Factory, but on some other website called financialjuice.com. And I don't know how to like I just heard about this website from Pipcraft because sometimes I join their live streams. Yeah, so it's called financialjuice.com. You got to like sign up for it and stuff like that. And it was something to do with Russia and Putin, but like GJ just kind of like very quickly shot up for like a very brief moment, and that would have been, at least from my opinion, the only move of the morning, so to speak.
Wow, I was surprised. Like I saw the news on the Ukraine stuff, but I was expecting GJ to go lower with that news because they're saying that the attack is planned this coming Wednesday, right?
Oh geez, I don't know.
That's what the news was saying. It was like, oh, if ever there would be an attack, Wednesday would be the day.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
What's going on?
No, you saw that news wherein they're saying that if the attack would happen, it will be this Wednesday.
I didn't say a date. I saw it would be this week, after the weekend, but I didn't see anyone say a day. I didn't know it was Wednesday.
Oh, let me see if I can find that.
If you could.
Yeah, it says Ukraine informed that Wednesday will be the day of the attack.
It's weird that they would announce it. You know, doesn't seem too smart of a country to announce when they're going to attack. Anybody have Windows? Gio, you got Windows?
Yeah, I got Windows.
Did you get this new update?
Wait, on which one?
My you see the bottom right over here?
Yeah.
It's all brand new. Also, like the Internet Explorer, I was showing a cap before, how it's like curved over here. Like Slack is the same way now. Like it was never like that, which I like.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Well, I just update mine. Mine is
you did that video I sent you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hate that. Yeah, Southern Western armies returning to bases. Do you think this is just like a calm before the storm?
It could be.
Like they're just playing with them.
You know, Putin is he's a very strategic person, leader.
Dude, I was at the dinner with my fiance and another couple for Valentine's Day yesterday, and he aligns with the way we think a little bit. And I was saying, like, I hate saying it, but there's this respect that I have for Putin that and again, like so hard for me to say that because of the way he runs the country and everything. But at the same time, like the dude is very strategic, like you said. Like he knows what he's doing. If you listen to him talk, obviously you got to get it translated, but the guy knows what he's talking about.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you watch the movie Money Heist.
Money Heist. I haven't. Is that on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. So the guy running the heist,
Yeah.
he basically kind of like the way he planned the heist,
Mhm.
it's like 10, 15 steps ahead.
Yeah. You ever see Inside
And-
Job
Oh yeah, I
or
did, yeah.
Inside Man
Was it Inside? I think it was. Yeah.
with Clive Owen? It's Clive Owen and Denzel.
You're talking about the series, right?
No, it's a movie.
Not Matt Damon? No? Oh, Inside Job, no.
I don't think it's Inside Job because I think it's Inside Man because Inside
Oh,
Job.
that's
I'm
the-
thinking of Italian Job.
Okay.
Inside Man. Have you seen this?
I don't think I watched this.
Oh my god, you got to see this. This will send you for a whirl. Inside Man. Clive Owen, Jodie Foster, and Denzel. Dude, this is one of the best bank heist movies I've seen. But Clive Owen's character is so smart in this. Yeah, you'll watch that and you'll watch the end of it and you'll be like, holy shit, that's insane.
Oh, I just watched what movie was it? Like over the weekend, the Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh yeah, with Gerard.
Yeah, that one's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, he's a good actor too.
He's kind of like that. Yeah, all the moves that he's doing is like 10 years in the making.
Yeah, 100%. I first saw him in what was it, Phantom of the Opera? And then 300. It's a slow day and or slow weekend, GJ, so far.
Yeah, GJ's ranging. Like I was talking about this guy yesterday, like how yesterday Daily Kendall closed Doji, doesn't know where to go.
Which one?
Yesterday,
Oh, the
on
daily?
GJ? Yeah.
Yeah. But it did hold support over here. And also the previous resistance over here that we ended up breaking, retesting over here, closing bearish right at that level, and then rejecting the level and continuing up. We're now like at that level holding support. All right. After holding a higher low over here, we're now holding this as a level. So this is a clear level, 156, 300, I would say. So could we be continuing to drive up from here? I could see it, especially if we get some calmness from Eastern Europe and some less panic in the market, more hawkish sentiment out of Great Britain. I'm debating taking this on gold with PPI coming out.
I entered.
You in?
Yeah.
Nice. What's your stop loss?
Right above that resistance.
Right up here?
I'm looking at the 15-minute. So yeah, I believe so.
It looks nice. I mean, there's a liquidity grab. Good flip.
Kat, what's your exit plan for this?
Well, let me see the lower time frames. I guess if it flips the 5-minute, I'll probably close the full position.
Okay. So that's one thing I want you to like write down and start working on is having that exit plan before you even enter the trade. Like when I ask that, like, so you're just like, okay, I'm doing this. If this happens, I'm doing this. If this happens. And if price goes into profit, a certain pip count, I'm doing this. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that'll give you some confidence behind trades when you have a complete plan, knowing what to do, instead of like, okay, I'm waiting for this to happen, and you know what, I think I'm just gonna enter, and then we enter, and price starts going the opposite way. Shit, we start, panicking a little bit. It's not. Panic isn't a good word. Hopefully, you're not panicking, but I'm saying,
No.
You still get worried and stuff like that. Like maybe right now.
Yeah, I just closed half.
Okay. So trying to think of like for me, my exit strategy, if I have my stop loss like right above here, if this candle started flipping bullish and closing somewhere in this area, I would have closed 50. I would have left it if it was in here, but personally, I wouldn't have entered this until we close below this level, at least on the 5-minute. At least we know we're exiting this area, because this is what we were waiting for before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we get the liquidity grab, but we're still holding support here. So we need that close below. That way we know price is going to come down. Not to mention, we got the 15-minute about to close, and then we also have PPI about to come out. So like with this 15-minute, look at the 15-minute. How many times have you seen it close around this area, this kind of candle? Like I've never seen a 15-minute grab liquidity all the way up here, flip bearish at this point, and then fill a wick like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now if this 15-minute creates a top wick past the low over here, I wish we didn't have CPI. I would be taking that. Or the 5-minute closing below this level. But if you get volume around this time, like this is a good volume time. So this is where you can hop up to the higher time frames and see if we're getting volume. This candle's moving hard, right? Creating that top wick. We pass the low of that candle. If it passes like quick, like it's passing hard, you know that there's a good chance we're going to get a nice drop. If it's like teetering over here and it's like going back and forth, it really doesn't know if it wants to happen, then it's slowly past the low of that candle, you might want to wait for the 15-minute to close below. Right? So it's all about these little intricacies of your pair, knowing the way they move and at what time for you to determine what kind of trade you're going to take, and having a plan set in place before you take it. That's all trading is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Decision making. This is looking good right now. You see how it's like kind of pushing.
Right.
This is what I wanted to point out to you before, because that's what I saw up here as well.
Yeah, I think I didn't consider that's the thing. Sometimes I forget like little tiny things because these moves happen so fast. I should not have entered before the 15-minute closed.
And Kat, this is where the journaling comes in. Writing this down to yourself, letting yourself know like this is what I need to do. I need to pay attention to this stuff. Trust me, it comes full circle. It starts to come around where you're just in tune with the market. You know the way your pair moves, and you know not to enter during certain times, right? And then that makes your winning rate slowly start to increase. It's not going to just happen overnight where you go from like a 40% win rate to now a 50% or 50, 60% win rate. It happens over the course of a period of time. All right. I am in here.
Now I only have 0.01 lot, so I can't close partials.
You see how it's like pushing right now though?
Yeah.
Now with a trade like this, once it retests right over here, this support, I'm closing the full thing.
That makes
Well,
sense.
you know what? I'm closing like 90%.
Looking at the 1 minute.
Not quite there yet.
I think I'm gonna at least put stop loss to break even.
All right, so it's looking like it's like running out of a little steam. So what I'm gonna do is move my stop loss right here. And I'm gonna close a little portion of it. I'm just gonna close half. Actually, you know what? I'm out of this. Now I'm out. We just retested the low over here. So we got PPI coming out. We just got almost that 1-to-1. This is my second trade of the day anyway. So now I'm just gonna wait for the reaction to PPI and see if we get a nice setup. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now this could very well continue to drop. If this was my first trade, actually, no, I wouldn't have handled this any differently because we do have PPI coming
Sorry.
out. What was that?
Sorry, I was looking at the 1 minute and it just like flipped and I was like, I'm glad I'm out. But yeah, no. Sorry.
Well, see, now this is where those lower time frames come in handy. You have a strong bearish candle. This candle closes a lot weaker, barely a bottom wick, and we're right at that support over there on the lower time frames. This candle passed right away. So, and then it flipped bullish passing the high of that candle. So now we have an indecision 1 minute candle at this previous support.
Right.
So now I mean, we could very well push right through this, but that's where you start getting these hints. It's like, okay, this is where we should probably secure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or at least like go break even, something like that. Tanking.
Yeah.
Yeah, just putting this up.
Mm.
Oh, shoot. This is such a sick animation. I'll send it to damn Gio, you gotta get back on Instagram.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You gotta get back on Instagram.
Dude, I don't know. Like I just even on Facebook, I just use Messenger. I don't even have time to I don't know, use social media right now.
Yeah. No, I get you. That's
But even the business, like because I actually partner with somebody do the retail of reselling stuff in the Philippines, like products coming from here, send them over there and do a retail, reselling. They open you open an Instagram account for that business, and yeah, I don't even have time to check on it. Like all I did, they just send me emails, like for approvals and stuff. That's all I did. I didn't even see the final page. I have
wow.
Yeah, that reminds me. I have to check on that thing.
Right. A 30-minute almost filled the wick. So now if this was any other time, I would have probably closed most of it and put stop loss at break even and let this thing run. But you get news coming out. There's a very high probability that we're going to get stopped out at break even with that. So it's not even worth it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So again, just certain times you know when to do certain things, and that comes with experience. With the way GJ's moving, Gio might not have a trade week. Might have a zero trade week.
I just be ranging in for this week.
That's nasty.
Do you only trade GJ or GU or something?
Just GJ. Well, I was trading. Was it GU before? What was the third pair we were looking at before? Stuff.
EJ.
Was it G? Oh, EJ. Yeah, EJ.
EJ?
And
yeah,
then
before. And then yeah, I took that pair out on my list. I was I mean gold, I'm still following the price in gold.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly looking at it on a higher time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm only trading I mean gold I'm paper trading, but like live trading,
Mhm.
it's only GJ.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that's good.
Oh, you are paper trading gold?
Yeah, just just playing around like on the higher time frame and see if my analysis is right. Like see if the way I'm playing GJ works for gold as well.
True.
So yeah, it's just same strategy. I'm just trying to see if it, how much percentage will it work on gold.
Sure. Yeah, Bitcoin over here. Holding that high or low over here. What are the chances we come up and retest the high? Every time we come into this whole area right here, we end up creating a new high. Right? Came right back into that area, created a new high. And we created a higher low. What are the chances we come right back up and create all-time highs? So we could get an opportunity to continue up. Now, before, I was actually looking at this last week, I think it was. This candle, last week, this candle was passing the highs up here, right? But we were still respecting this bearish trend. If you take a look, the hiccups, you have this bearish trend we're respecting over here. You can actually also put this like right here, which actually makes more sense. But right over here, we were just kind of pushing up. You had this push up from this 36,000 level, pushing all the way up right over here. But you see these candles starting to get weaker, right? So there was a good possibility that we would get a pullback back down to this support over here, get in at a better price, and push price right back up. All right, so you may have good buys on GJ above this level over here to continue right back up. As long as it breaks out of this range. You got 52,000 that we could reach, or 50,000. That's a lot of points right there. That's a lot of points right there. There's so much liquidity in Bitcoin and all these cryptos. All right, enough with crypto. Let's get back to GJ and gold because we have PPI coming out pretty soon. Pretty soon. See why we closed, Cat?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Gio, I know you don't watch too much TV, but whenever you get a chance, watch that movie. I think you'll like it a lot.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
Let me open my Netflix real quick.
Who has the quickest data release out of all of these sites? All right. 1 minute. We also have Empire State Manufacturing Index, which we should be looking at. Let's see the last. Or completely missed in January. All right, right around the corner. You know why I think Forex Factory is slow? Because this says 828. My computer says 829.
Yeah, a minute.
What do we get? Yeah, it's like behind for a minute. All right, liquidity grab, it looks like. Empire State Manufacturing was not good. If we get mixed data, like I said, you're gonna have a ranging market. If you get all bad
I
data,
like watching the 1 minute.
0.8. You got 0.8.
0.8. Wow, 1.0.
I think you're muted.
Oh, am I muted? I'm not muted. Can you hear me, Gio?
I can hear you.
You can? Is it very low?
No, mine is okay.
Okay. All right, so we just got some mixed data over here. This should be telling the Fed, like, all right, let's start ramping up. The only thing is, too, though, PPI. This is purchasers managers index. So, producers. So, this is the business owners. So, if you increase rates, that's going to hurt them just as much. Right, because you basically make everything cost a lot more when it comes to getting loans, getting mortgages, getting anything. When you increase rates, it just costs more to get a US dollar. So when the government increases their rates, you know banks are going to increase their rates. You know everyone else is going to increase rates. So, you know, underwhelming move over here. But again, I would have been stopped at break even.
Even before the talks of the increasing the rate, I wasn't surprised because every time I open my American Express account on the computer, like always, like there's always something that pops out, like the loan that they're willing to let you borrow, right? And the amount from beginning of pandemic up to now, I've seen it like they start cutting it down.
Oh yeah,
like the offers. I'm like, what? Before they're offering me this much for only this interest rate, and now they're offering me this much. I don't know.
Because they know.
I mean, you could tell,
We're living in an interesting time. All right, underwhelming data. So now I would expect possibly well, the one question is, especially on the hour, are we going to stay below this support? Right? Will we stay below this whole area over here? Or are we going to come right back up? Are we going to hold that as a resistance? 30-minute, right? We're going to hold this as a resistance. Now, safer sells are probably going to be below here now. Looking at the 15, somewhere around here. Now we're just in a range. We just passed the high of the previous 15-minute. So we're just kind of sitting in between here.
So what was is there news that came out, the reason why gold dropped in the London session?
Yep. Yeah, that was I thought we were talking about that before. Maybe we're not yet. So Russia, what's the guy's name? The guy basically running the Russian military. They're now moving troops. What?
Returning to bases.
Yeah, his name is like Klitschkov or something like that. Some Russian name, but says Southern Western armies returning to their base. they're trying to return back to a more diplomatic approach instead of like threatening with the military and stuff like that. So they're kind of backing off a little bit. Here, a trio of Russian headlines. Russia is preparing a series of military drills. Most military districts and fleets will participate. Live fire drills will be held in Russia, Belarus. Russia returning some troops to bases after drills. So they're going back to their bases. I kind of think this could be a smoke and mirrors kind of a thing, or like a
strategy.
Yeah,
Just
some to like tease them with like, all right,
Yeah.
we're not going to be doing anything. We're going to return back, and then boom, they just attack on Wednesday. Right, but let's hope that doesn't happen for the sake of the world. So if that happens, gold buys on Wednesday all day long. Just wait for those pullbacks, and that's where you can even trade on like the 5 minute, the 1 minute, depending on the setups. Because there's going to be moves. All right. So what do you guys think? You think that's we're going to get too much today?
Probably, if anything, maybe like at 10 or 10:30, because that's usually what I notice happens.
100%. Yeah, it looks like the session's probably going to be dead today, at least until later. Like Kat was just saying, let's see if this is like a liquidity grab to continue down. To continue the move. This is just from the news, and then we grab liquidity and continue down. But other than that, there's nothing I want to see too much on GJ. Or I don't think I'm going to see too much on GJ for what I want. Again, I think we're going to have safer buys above 850 up here. You need that nice setup right over here if you're going to take sells over here, because you do have a nice candle right here to mirror. But safer sells are going to be below 156, right? But you do have enough range in here, which is number one. Number two, you got the clean move to the left right over here. Even though this is a range, I would just wait for the break and retest if you're going to trade in here. But typically, I would just wait for a price to break this support. Gold, again, same exact thing. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off. I'm actually about to do a full breakdown, fundamental and technical with Sharma, and we'll put that on YouTube for you guys. I'll send it into the group. Do you guys have any questions?
Nope, that's it for
Nothing
now.
for me.
You guys are all set? All right. Well, good start to the week, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We'll be with Sharma tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Is it? Oh, wow. I thought it was Monday. Huh.
I know. It feels like Monday, right?
Yeah.
Again, I apologize for yesterday. I had no idea that was going to happen. I was so ready for the morning, too. I was ready to trade with you guys, and then all of a sudden, my head was going to explode.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
I know. It's the worst. But
Did it happen after your workout? Or
during the workout, I was doing squats, and all of a sudden, like, my head just started, like, pounding slowly, and then it just really came on. And then I was sitting at my computer, like, trying to get ready and stuff, like get ready for the session, break down the charts for myself. And I just couldn't. I was like, oh my God, I can't even think straight. So I just did like a full, I sent you guys those screenshots and everything of what to look for. Did you guys get anything yesterday?
Not me.
Okay. Yeah, yesterday again was a dud on GJ specifically. Gold had a couple moves, like I was talking to you before, Kat. But other than that, it was a Monday. We got plenty of moves this week.
Right.
Normally, when you have a week of a lot of stats, like this week, like anywhere from 60 to 70 stats coming out, that Monday is normally a dud.
Right. Yeah,
so I would just lower your risk on that Monday if you're going to take anything. But guys, have a great rest of your morning, great rest of the day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I look forward to talking to you.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
All right, guys, you too.
Bye.